Hello and welcome back to my channel. Before we dive into this week's episode, I'm going to take you for a little walk. I'm walking my youngest dog and we are going to the forest, and on the way there I can see if my friend is working at his mill. He's not working there, I can tell already, his car's not there, but I always enter and see if everything is okay. It's a really nice place to be. He has a little secret garden behind his mill. It's more like an orchard with fruit trees. And I so enjoy being there. It's so quiet and a bit mystical. And it's really the place where you would expect somebody spinning. Just look at this. It looks like a fairy tale. And there should be a lady spinning in a scene like that. But well, my friend is not here, so I'm taking my dog a little further along to the woods, and I really like walking there. The dogs can walk there without a leash, which is perfect. And she really likes to play a little bit. And actually, it's more like the dog is walking me. And it's, of course, important to get some movement, because when you're knitting or spinning, you're sitting a lot. So that's why I really enjoy these little walks very close to our house. I also say hi to my favorite horse. It's not my horse, but a horse that lives nearby. I usually take a carrot with me for him, and I cuddle or I give him a little massage. Today it's just a little cuddle. Yeah, well, that's enough. Let's start with the episode. Hello and welcome back to my channel, the second week of Tour the Fleece. First of all, I want to say, first I have to introduce myself, of course. I always forget. My name is Chantal and I'm coming to you from the Netherlands. And I'm filming my Tour de Fleece adventure for this year, and I'm doing that in English for the occasion. But welcome back to my channel. And this is the second week of Tour de Fleece, and last week I left you with some fleece from the Ouessant sheep that I washed and started carding. Now I still have one cycle to go. After 5 bats, I kind of lost interest and my hands were a little bit sore. Well, not very sore, but I felt in the distance a little bit of, well, not pain, but a sensation. So I thought, well, maybe I have to rest a little bit with the hand carding and the carding, because I have other things to do as well for Tour de Fleece. I will pick up and go on with the Ouessant sheep. Of course, I want to spin it in this episode. Well, maybe not this episode, but in this Tour de Fleece, these 3-week cycle episodes, to show you what it looked like, what it is going to look like. But not today. Not today. I'm still, well, I'm only human, and I'm a bit fed up with the fleeces of the Ouessant sheep at this moment. So, okay. The nice thing is that I can rotate with my project, so that's a good thing. I also, at the end of my second video, did some plying with Zwartbles fleece, and I've washed it and now it's dry. And this is from a combed top, and the previous 2 skeins that I did were from a carded rovings. And I don't know if you can really see the difference between the combed top and the carded rovings. There is a difference in color. This one is a little bit more lighter brown, but if I just look at the yarn and kind of the Garas, oh no, that's too difficult a word. Characteristics. the feel of the yarn, then it's almost the same. So I can just use this. I'm going to use this for a project I'm going to knit a body warmer from it for a very good friend of mine. And he is the builder of the mill that you saw at the beginning. Usually I don't knit for somebody else. Well, somebody outside of my own family. But he is the exception, and the reason why I wanted to knit something for him is because last year he gave me a spinning wheel that belonged to his late mother. And it had been in a little cabin in the woods for many decades. And I told him I picked up spinning again. And he said, well, I have an old spinning wheel, maybe you want to have it. You can have it for free. I got the spinning wheel. It was a Dutch schipperke, that's how we call it. A Castle model, also Irish tension spinning wheel. I tried to work on it, but it was like plowing land. It was very difficult. The wheel was not in balance, and I gave the wheel back. Well, that was a little adventure. But on that spinning wheel was some wool that his mother, the mother of Frans, spinned when she was younger. Now, we calculated back and we thought that the yarn was probably 50 years old. They were singles. So on that spinning wheel, I tried to twine them in a 2-ply to make yarn. And it was very difficult because the spinning wheel was very hard work, but I managed to twine some of his mother's yarn. It's not perfectly spun, but you know, that's okay. This is wool that his mother, who is already gone, made. So when I had this, I thought, how nice would it be if I would knit something for him from his mother's yarn. And at first I thought I'm going to knit something very small, but as the longer it took to think about it, the bigger the project got. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm going to make a body warmer for him because he needs one. I know, because I work with him a lot and I know he wears a body warmer frequently. I still don't know if body warmer is the exact term that you use in English as well, but here we mean like a cardigan without sleeves, so it only warms your body. Well, that's where the Zwartbles came in, because I still had that in my stash. So I started spinning the Zwartbles. Now I have this wool, but I also have a little bit of the singles left. So this is what it looked like on the spinning. Well, I put it into a yarn cake, but this is the color of the untwined, unwashed wool from his mother. So I still have a little bit left. And in the meantime, I know what kind of body warmer I want to make, how I want the color work to look like. I'm going to freewheel it. I have the measurements of his old body warmer. So I know a little bit how I'm going to make it. I'm going to do with a zipper. I'm going to make it with a zipper and with some pockets, because you need pockets when you are very handy and working with your hands. And well, so maybe in this Tour de Fleece I will twine this one in a 2-ply, and I will probably dye a little bit of his mother's yarn in a bit more mid-tone brown, so it kind of like it's a bridge between these colors. So yeah, probably this is not enough, but if I need more of the brown, of the Zwartbles, I can always spin some more. And that's the nice thing about spinning, that you can spin a little bit and then knit a little bit, and then you think, oh, I might not have enough, and then you spin a little bit, so you have enough. It's like going to a yarn shop, but then on your own wheel in your own house. So this is a project, and I still have a little bit of yarn left on the bobbin from last week's 2-ply. And the thing I want to learn, I've never done it before, but I know there is a lot of information and videos out there, is how to make a yarn bracelet. So I can spin up the last bit. It's a itsy bitsy bit, but I want to get all of the yarn as I can get. So that's something that's new to me and something I'm going to learn hopefully today. That's one project. Then there is another project, and that has to do with this yarn. I spun this up last year, well, or was it the beginning of this year? Did I put the date on it? No. Oh. Last year I took up spinning again because I was suffering from a frozen shoulder. I had a frozen shoulder in my right arm, my right shoulder, and I'm right-handed. So that was very painful and very deliberating, and knitting was almost impossible. I didn't feel like knitting was good for my shoulder, so I stopped with knitting. But then I thought maybe I can do some spinning, because you can have your shoulder a little bit more static, or the movements are just very small. I felt like maybe I can do that. So at first I took some fleece and I started dyeing the fleece in the fleeces, and I don't know, I didn't label that either, which kind of fleece it was. I think maybe Texels Lamb. Texel is an island in the Netherlands, high up in the north, and there they have a sheep breed which is called Texels. Texelse schapen, Texels sheep. And I think this was the lamb, but I'm not sure. It could also be swifter. I know in my last video I said that this was made of multiple fleeces, but I meant multiple colors. It was one kind of fleece, one kind of sheep breed, but I don't know which one. It was a Dutch one, that's what I know. But I started dyeing different fleeces in 6 different colors, and then on my drum carder I mixed the colors together, and I wanted them to really blend. So not like really like, how do you call that, tonal, but more like a heathered color, and not like the color is changing color while it's forming, while you're knitting with it. So, and this color is probably my favorite color. I really like reds, red tones, berry, wine, burgundy kind of colors. I feel very good when I'm wearing that color. So I try to mimic that, and I think I really succeeded. I'm very happy. It has like a little tweed effect. I did a 3-ply. It was done on my carding, drum carder. Somebody in the reactions, cardle drum, said what the right word was, but I forgot already. Cardle drum. So it was a roving a woolen preparation, but I spun it with the short forward draw or the short backward draw, one of them, which is a woolen way of spinning, no, a worsted way of spinning. So this is semi woolen or semi worsted. Yeah, that's how I did it. Well, I have 3 skeins, and one thing that I'm not sure of is if this is enough to knit a cardigan. So then I thought, well, maybe I should do the colors of the cuffs and the neck and here in a different color. So I spun some more, no, I dyed some more fleeces in 3 different colors, more brownish. I like brown as well. I like green, brown and reds. Those are my favorite colors. So a bit brownish, and also the same way mix them on my cardle drum and left it in a bag for someday. Someday I will start spinning those, and I think today is that day. So I have them here. This is, I'm not sure if you can see the color very well, but also here I try to make it a little bit more like a heathered brown. I think it looks good with the wine burgundy color of the body. And I have 6 of these little rovings, bats, which I can spin in a 3-ply, hopefully starting today. We will see. For this one, it was the first time that I did a 3-ply, and I made a little, you know, like most people do in the beginning, a cardboard box with a few needles in it, so I can have a 3-ply, because on my spinning wheel I only can do 2 bobbins. So I needed one with 3. And also here, one of the bobbins from this color was finished before the other 2. So I probably have to chain ply these 2 to really use up all of the spinning yarn, all of the singles that I've done. I've done the Navajo or the chain ply before. It's been a while, but I think, how difficult can it be? Yeah, I'm going to empty those 2 bobbins. So today I'm going to do the arm bracelet with the 2-ply from the Zwartbles and 2 chain plies from this yarn. I call this project the cardigan, with this yarn and with these cuffs, my frozen berry cardigan, frozen because of my frozen shoulder. It started when I was having my frozen shoulder, which is almost, well, it's still a little stiff and painful, but I can do a lot now. And berry because of the color. This is a little bit the juice that you get out of a berry. So frozen berry, or in Dutch, bevroren vest. So that's my project that I'm hopefully starting today. Yeah. In the meantime, my cat is doing fine. She's outside now, but on a leash, and she has like a little harness on with a long leash, and I pinned the leash in the middle of the grass here, so I can keep an eye on her. She's doing fine. She's yeah, she's enjoying the fresh air a little bit, and then later today she can come back in. I do have visitors this afternoon, so I'm not sure how far I will get, but let's just start with looking up how to do the arm bracelet, the yarn bracelet, and then do some chain plying as well. If my bobbins are empty, then I can start with this. So, see you later. So it's later in the afternoon, around 4 o'clock, and my visitors, my company has left already. So now I have time to do the spinning part of my brown dyed fleece. It just occurred to me that I have a lot of brown fleeces that I'm spinning this tour. It's a brown Tour the Fleece for me. But yeah, I made the reference card so I can see if my thickness is about the same as what I was spinning when I was doing the purple yarn. So it's more or less the same. It's more of a wild fleece because this was carded. The wool itself has a lot of little lumps and well, tangled bits in it. It's not the same as spinning with a combed top, which my last spinning project on the spinning wheel was the Zwartbles, which was a combed top. This feels much more rough and wild. I really like it, but it takes some getting used to to have a carded wool again. I am doing the short forward or the short backwards draft, or a little bit of both. So that's a woolen way of spinning. Just because I don't know how to do the worsted way of spinning yet, the long draw. I have never done it before, and I'm not going to do it with this project. So I keep it more in the known. Yeah, but wow, the first few minutes are always a little bit about finding your groove. And I know with this spinning wheel, it's an Irish tension, a Castle model. I know this one is quite hungry at the beginning. It has like a very strong pull. So that's why, I don't know if you can see it here. I will do a close-up in a little while. I do some lacing. I think it's called lacing in English. In Dutch we call it veteren. And it's the same word like a shoelace or a schoenveter, a shoe veter, it's the same. So I think you call it lacing. And with that you you're really English, you really make, when you're lacing your yarn, it kind of takes back on the tension. I have no break on it at this moment. No, because a break would cause more tension, more pull. So this is just, well, doing nothing at the moment. But even then, the pull is very strong. So that's why I do this lacing bit. Lot of words for a short announcement. But actually this part is quite boring for you guys. Not for me, I really enjoy this. But watching this, it's just spinning. I do have to clean up the yarn a little bit, the wool, because there are still little bits and bumps in it. And I cannot get everything out of there, but I'm trying to. If I really feel some hard bits, then I'm taking them out. Oh, I find it very difficult to do this concentrated spinning and also talking in English. So I'm going to shut up for a while and enjoying my spinning project. The only thing I can say that after a little while, when this bobbin has filled up a little bit more, I let go of the lacing, and I will just have all the yarns on all the yarn on one side and work like that. But for now, the first half of a bobbin, I'm going to lace it. And the reason is, once there is more yarn on the bobbin, then the pull gets less because of the, I don't know, the weight. I try to understand the technical parts, but I'm not really a technical spinner yet, or maybe ever. But sometimes you do have to know some technical bits to know what you can let go of, if you know what I mean. Good morning. For me, it's now Monday the 14th. I have to go to my work in a little bit, but I have like, well, 20 minutes to continue on my spinning. Well, I've done one of these beds, rovings, beds. I have 6 in total. I thought I would do 2 of these beds per bobbin. Then I would have 3 bobbins with each 2 of these spun beds. With 3 bobbins I can do a 3-ply and then I have my yarn. But yesterday when I was spinning this, I thought maybe I can do 1 per bobbin. And when I have 3 bobbins, so when I'm halfway, then I will do a 3-ply with those bobbins, and then I will go the second round and do the last 3 of these beds on 3 bobbins and do a 3-ply. The reason is that I can do, I think, 1 bobbin a day. Maybe today, because I only have to work in the morning. I don't have to work in the afternoon, so maybe I can do 2 today, but I'm not sure. I will, to be on the safe side, think I will do 1 today and 1 tomorrow. Then I will have 3, and I let them rest for a day or 2, and then maybe on Thursday, the last day that I'm shooting for this episode, I can twine them. And then I can already show the results. And once this has been twined, I always say twining, but that's Dutch, twijnen. It's Dutch, it's plying, plying. This is a garter drum and this is plying. No, I have to improve on my English. But when when this has been plied and the yarn has been washed and dried, then I can already start casting on the cardigan soon. And then it doesn't matter if the next half of this project is a little bit later. I can already start, and these are the cuffs, the edges of my cardigan, so I have to start with this color. So that's the reason. Today, well, this morning, now I'm going to transfer this flyer, no, not this flyer, this bobbin on another, this yarn. I'm going to transfer this yarn on another bobbin. I've learned, I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but I've learned that if you do that, the tension of this spun single yarn will be a bit more balanced. I like it when things are balanced, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if it's really necessary. I'm not going through the orifice of the spinning wheel. I'm just going sideways. Put a little nuts in here. Nope. Oh, waarom? Yeah. Because I'm still not a very professional spinner, and I'm still not very consistent. I've heard that this will balance out your spun yarn a little bit. So if there are spinners watching, is this something that you do too? And do you let your bobbins rest for a day or two as well? Or is that like not really necessary? I would like to know. So if you can share that knowledge, it would be much appreciated. But for now, I'm just doing what I've read and hoping that it will contribute to a nice yarn, a workable, nice yarn. Today, it's Thursday the 17th, and last fragment was about me twining, no, not twining, plying, plying and drum carder. Okay, now I know. I was plying the 3-ply of my brown dyed yarn that I spun last week, and I've washed it and it dried, and this is how it looks right now. It will be combined in a project with this yarn, so it had to be almost the same thickness, and I think I succeeded well enough. So this has been a success. Thankfully, I found that I had another skein, so I thought I had 3, but I have 4, and a little ball of this color. I have this one, and from the brown one I will have another, because I still have to spin and ply some more. I also found my gauge swatch of the wine-colored yarn, and I really hope that then I will have enough for a cardigan. I'm not quite sure, I'm not convinced yet. I cannot imagine that this is enough for a cardigan. I think I will have to knit it quite fitting, or I will have to find another project to make with this. It's one of the things I still have to learn. How much yarn do I need for a project? It's one of the most difficult things for me to calculate or to imagine, especially when you're when you're spinning your own yarn. It's kind of well, quite important to know how much you're going to make, but we will see. At least this has been done. And I find it so funny because it looks like a natural brown from a normal natural sheep color, but I dyed this. And sometimes it's also in the whole dyeing process. These were 3 different colors, these were 6 different colors. It's so magical what happens when you are combining colors on your carder drum. No, drum carder. It's in Dutch we say kaardemolen, which is, when you translate it literally, it means carder mill. So we have the word carder in front of the word mill, and that's why I always say carder drum, but you have the drum in front of the carder. Drum carder, okay. But when you are mixing colors on your drum carder, during spinning, during plying, during knitting, how colors emerge and transform, it's magical. I find it really interesting. But I didn't intend for this brown color to be so like a natural brown. I still like it. I think it looks beautiful, but it looks kind of not dyed, you know? So that's funny. To me, it's funny. So this was one project. Not completely done yet, because I still have to spin and ply some more, but almost done. I can start knitting with this, and hopefully it will be enough for the project that I have in my mind, but we will see. But then yesterday something else happened, and that was the following. So people, today it's Wednesday the 16th, and it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. And I suddenly remembered the Herdwick sheep fleece I was talking about in the first episode. That sheep belongs to friends of ours. They live in Belgium, and as so it happens, we don't see them often, but we will see them this Saturday. And suddenly I thought, okay, can I make something of this fleece before Saturday evening? This is the fleece, by the way. This. And it's very brittle, very coarse. There's a lot of camp in it, camp hair. And I'm trying to card it right now. But it feels like the hairs of a wild boar or something. I cannot believe that the softness of the Ouessant and the softness of the fleece I was spinning with earlier from the dyed brown fleece, that's the same animal, because this really feels like not cuddly at all. So it's quite the adventure to see if I can make something for them and card it, spin it, ply it, and knit something small for this upcoming Saturday, which is 3 days apart from now. I don't know if I'm stupid for trying, but okay. Yes, the Herdwick sheep. It was quite an adventure to work with such a coarse fleece, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't imagine that spinning with such a tough fleece would be so much fun. It I did read one of the comments this morning about somebody who worked with a Herdwick sheep fleece before. I really appreciate and am very grateful for all your comments and all your really sweet reactions. I'm not very good at replying them. I do read them. I am really grateful that you take the time to write me something. But I don't always write back, so please don't be offended about that. I try to keep my screen time as low as possible. And I feel like I've done a lot of my effort by just making these videos up front. But I really liked the reaction of one of you who said that she worked with the Herdwick fleece before and that it was quite messy. And the tip was to do it outside. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't know yet. There was really a lot of mess here. I stayed up till quite late, vacuum cleaning everything, vacuum cleaning and scratching out my drum carder as well. So everything is nice and pristine. Pristine. My house is never pristine, but okay, you know what I mean, I guess. But no, I didn't do that. So I know, and I can second that yes, it's better if you do it outside. But I really liked spinning with it, and also because I have been playing around with it a little bit. I try to spin with it in a more woolen way. I've never really done that before. I was always kind of a short forward draft or short backward draft kind of person, and I kind of made up my mind that I was not a woolen kind of spinner, but I did try with this Herdwick fleece because, well, it was so coarse that, well, it didn't really matter. It was just, I could play with it. It was like yeah, a very forgiving yarn in that way, because it was so wild and coarse. So I noticed that I really like to spin in a woolen way. It's much more relaxed. So I'm kind of confused now. That's so funny. Yeah. This is what I have left. Yesterday I finished the skein. I washed it, it dried overnight, and today I started knitting with it. And I will tell you what I'm making for my friends, but first I will show you what I've knitted. These are the two pieces. I've used, I think, garter stitch, that it is in English, just plain knitting, no purling. So 2 squares, and I'm going to make this into a sheep. I'm giving them a sheep, little sheep, made with the fleece of their own sheep. Now, how great is that? Making a sheep is quite a thing in our family. It was the first project that I ever did. It's the reason why I wanted to learn knitting when I was about 6 or 7 years old. My mother and also some of her friends, I think it was in a magazine maybe, but they made a sheep that represented the family members. So, and I think it was a Christmas thing, that you could put it under the Christmas tree and all the little sheep, 2 big sheep for the parents and then a few little sheep for the children, they represented the family flock, something like that. And of course it was even more personal if everybody knitted their own sheep. So my mother knitted her sheep, and my sister, who is 7 years older than me, she was I think 14, 15 at the time, of course she could knit her own sheep. But I was like 6 or 7, and I really I wanted to knit my own sheep, little sheep, because of course I was the baby of the family, but I couldn't do it yet. So I learned knitting with this project, which is quite simple. It's just like 2 squares, and you attach them in a certain way that it becomes a sheep. So it's kind of childhood memory of mine. And we don't have those knitted sheep anymore. I don't know where they are. My parents, they passed away a few years ago. I live in the house that they built in the 60s. The sheep are gone. But my mother used to say to people that she really liked, a kind of promise. She would say, I'm going to knit a sheep for you. And by saying that, she meant like, you are part of my flock. I like you, you belong, and I will knit you a sheep. And my mother, she was in an accident years ago before she got ill, and her right arm got kind of paralyzed, so she couldn't knit anymore. And later she became, she had dementia, so cognitive decline. But for a long time she would say to people, I will knit a sheep for you. And of course she couldn't do that anymore, but it was kind of saying, I love you, or I like you. And I know in 2012 I thought, I'm going to knit a sheep for her. And that sheep I still have. It's not the most beautiful sheep, but I have it here. I didn't stuff this one properly, so it's kind of cannot stand on its own feet. And there's also a safety pin in it and another needle, but this is kind of the idea. And I think this time, for this project, I'm going to make a little metal, is that an English word? Armature? Like a skeleton inside, so it has a bit more structure inside. And also I'm going to stuff it a bit better, so it will have some body. It will have some body. It will have some body, you know. I have some fleece left from the carding machine and from the drum carder, I mean, and from the hand carder, from hand carding, the pieces that were a little bit too felted or a little bit too compressed, or the second cuts, I've all kept that in this little paper bag, so I have enough to stuff this sheep. But that's the plan. And the reason why it was such a hurry is because we didn't know, we will have a barbecue this Saturday because a mutual friend of ours is celebrating his birthday. And at first our Belgian friends couldn't make it on that day, but then our mutual friend changed the date, and now they can come, and that's this Saturday. And I heard that yesterday, so that's why I have to do it in 3 days. But I think I can manage. I think tonight, this evening, I will make this sheep. So you will see this in this episode, because it's Thursday today. Tomorrow I will be editing, and next week, that's the 3rd week and the last week of the Tour de Fleece, will be for other adventures. Okay, I also finished my Ouessant beds. They are really, really soft. They are so much softer than my Zwartbles. And my Zwartbles had, I had that in a combed and in a carded form, and the combed form was so much more soft than the carded form. But still, this is even softer than the combed yarn, the fleece. So it's really soft. I hope this will be enough for a project that I can turn into a cardigan or a sweater, but otherwise it can also be a scarf or something like that, because this you can really have it against your bare skin. So I'm inclined to do this with a woolen spin, and I will try to do it in a thin yarn and then do a 2-ply. And I think if I knit this with a slightly bigger needle, then can make like an airy kind of sweater or cardigan. That's what I'm hoping for. But here also, I don't know if this will be enough, because this will shrink enormously when you spin this. So we will see. We will see about that. I will start spinning that on the smaller circumference from my bobbin. This is an old bobbin because I have an old spinning wheel. If I want to change them, I really have to turn the bobbin. But I've always, when I'm spinning, I'm always using the bigger one. And when I'm plying, I'm using the smaller one. And I've learned that, or I read, or I heard somewhere, that if you're spinning a thinner thread, the thinner you make it, the smaller your circumference of your bobbin needs to be. So I think I'm going to try it with the smaller one, but I'm a bit worried because my spinning wheel is quite hungry, but so there is like a strong pull at the beginning, and when you have a smaller circumference of your on your spinning wheel, then it will even go faster. But we will see. And I'm going to do that with the smaller one because I bought something for myself last week for my spinning wheel, and that's even a smaller circumference. So this one, the bigger one, is as big as the small one on this old bobbin. But then there is this circumference and this circumference. So it really the bobbins for spinning very small, tiny, small threads, singles. The reason for that I really want to try to spin very thin is because of my sock yarn. I really like knitting socks, and a few months ago I bought sock yarn. Not yarn, sock top. And this is really combed. It doesn't say what this is. I think it's merino. It has biodegradable nylon in it, and of course sock yarn, you want to spin that as thin as possible, because when you're plying it, it becomes a little bit thicker, and you don't want your sock wool, or I don't want my sock wool to be too thick, because then you have like big thick socks. So that's why I bought these bobbins. So this will be my next adventure for next week. The Ouessant and this one. I also bought a different flyer. It fits on my old spinning wheel. It's made, I can use this. and I cannot put my old bobbins on this flyer, but that's okay. I can use these bobbins on my old flyer and on this one. I'm really curious how it feels to spin with this flyer. It has a different kind of leading eyes. They are like, you know, on my other one I have like these little hooks, and these you can just adjust very slightly. So it's more nuanced. I don't know if I like this more or not, but we will see. We will see. I find this very exciting. So I hope you will come back for next week. This was it for today, and yeah, thank you again for watching and for welcoming me and for all the compliments that I got. I'm going to continue on my sheep, and I will start editing tomorrow, and then the week after I will probably be a little bit later because the Tour de France ends at Sunday the 27th, so probably my video will launch at Sunday, around Sunday. So next week I will be a little bit later, but yeah, thank you again for watching, and see you next time. Bye.